welcome to my June plan with me. So let's start, as we usually do, with the clarity box for this month. So this month the theme is kind of soft greys, and it's all about resetting your direction, and I wanted it to feel a little bit like movement. And with that in mind, and the idea of you know, summer and holidays coming up, you have this lovely travel journal included in this month's clarity box. So not only do you get the binder, you also get a lined insert, and you get a kind of scrapbook insert as well as a couple of pockets to keep anything, any clippings, any business cards in, and a zip wallet if you've got any other bits and pieces that you want to keep a hold of whilst you're traveling around. So this lovely grey travel journal is included, and I like to keep it in a dust bag when it's in my bag just to keep it protected. You also get this lovely pouch, which can be used in so many different ways, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've put a reel up on all the different ways that you can use it. I have actually used it as a clutch, and in fact the travel journal fits so nicely in here as well, so that's like the perfect size to pop that if you wanted to just take that around. Or I'm also using it currently as a pencil case, but you might want to use it as a toiletry bag, so lots of different uses for this lovely cord bag. Stationery wise, we've got the grey TOMBOW N95 and this really useful marker pen, which has got a fibre tip and it's also got a fine tip, and this is, just wrestle it off. Can you see that there? This is so perfect for writing on the translucent sticky notes. It doesn't, well, if you wipe it immediately it smudges, but if you give it a couple of seconds it dries, and it's perfect for that. So you get the page flags as well as the sticky notes, and you get 3 grey bulldog clips as well as a grey washi tape, a packet of kind of grey toned stickers. There's a few other tones in there as well, and your note cards. I'll show you these in more detail later because they are in my planner. The marble grey sticky notes and a little ruler just to kind of go into your journal. So that is this month's clarity box, and I've got a couple of these left, so if you wanted to purchase, then I'll pop the link down in the comments, and let's have a look how that looks in my planner. So I love working with an A5 planner. This is our lifestyle planner agenda, and I like it because it has all of the pocket space at the front, and I like to keep everything that I'm using for that month. So we've got some of those note cards, which I'm actually going to start doing in separate packs with the option of adding envelopes, because I think they're a really nice little gift if you want to just write a note to a friend. They can be really helpful. So that's going to be new coming. I'll let you know about that. But I like to keep all of just my bits and pieces that I'm working with for the month in the front pockets. I'm still working with last month's clarity dashboard. So that was our anniversary dashboard, and it kind of fits in with my theme, so I've left it there. And then if we swing through to June, I'm working with the month to view. So with the month to view set, you get the cover page, and you also have the month on 2 pages. As usual, I'm a creature of habit. I have done exactly what I would normally do. I've highlighted all of my work shifts. I do that first, and then after that I've gone in and put these little dots wherever I think I could go to the gym. So that's again my focus for this month. I've been really consistent again, so I'm working back into getting into the routine, back into the consistency. My goal for this month is to now kind of come up with a new gym program and stick to it. So I'll show you my goals page next, but those translucent notes are lovely and clear, so you can kind of overlay that wherever you need it and move it around if you need to as well. That is because that's when our lovely journal cafe meetup is going to happen, and that's going to be on Father's Day. So if you're in the UK and you didn't realise, Father's Day is on the 21st of June. There is a section on the back of the of the month to view bundle. You do have the goals page on the back. I haven't used that for this month. I am thinking that next month I'm going to go in hard on the third quarter of the year with a quarterly goal setting challenge, because I have slipped a little and we're running out of time for the end of the year. So I just wanted to kind of speed up a little bit. So I'll go into more details in that in the next video, because that'll be coming in July. For June, I've used the monthly breakdown. This is available on the website. It's undated, so you put your own dates in. And I've just kind of highlighted my focus. So clearing out one room, the gym program, and garden maintenance, just keeping on top of the garden. And I've set some tasks for myself to achieve this month. So one of the first ones is set a new gym program. That's quite straightforward. If I want to stick to a program, I need to know what the program is. And then I've got rest of the year plan for rooms. So if you've been following and you've kind of followed me on Patreon and Instagram, you'll be aware of my goal setting and what my kind of goals are for the year. And one of them was to have an absolute clear out. And I was thinking one room per month would be plenty of time. And now we're getting towards the end of the middle of the year, I guess. I'm running out of months for rooms. So I really need to start planning. And actually, what I thought I might do for this is pull out a monthly year, like a year in month form, like a year on 2 pages, so that I can really break down what rooms I can do on what months. Let me just grab it and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this is, oh, it's upside down. So this is actually something that comes with my goal setting pack. And if you're a Patreon member, it's free. Otherwise, it's £5 to download. This was for 2026. So it's undated, this particular sheet. And in fact, if you are really interested in jumping in on this kind of last 6 months of the year goal planning session, let me know, because I might put this up as a free download for you. In fact, let's do it. I'm going to set it up as a free download for you. It might not be in the link section just yet, so give me a couple of days to kind of get it uploaded and everything. I'll add it into the comments later. But I think this is really helpful, because this is literally giving me the next 6 months, and I can plot which room I'm going to do per month. And that's what I just wanted to see, is just like a visual of the months I've got left and the key things I'm going to do in those months. So I'm going to fill this out and have that ready for me to start in July. But I'm not going to waste my June, because I'm getting ahead of the game, because in June I've already said pick a room. So I haven't actually got as far as identifying that, but I've put choose one room to clear, and that's something that I want to get done in June. So this page here is the monthly breakdown, and that's available in the shop. So the other thing that I'm working with is I like to work with the undated week to view. So this is the Self-Kind planner. It's called that because it's just a little bit of an open space. My other weekly planner has space for to-do. So if you're somebody who gets quite particular about your to-do list like I do, I can find that adds just that extra little bit of pressure. This takes that away, so it's quite an open space. Let me show you the blank pages so you can see what you're working with. I've got a section of blanks over here that I pull from. So there you go. It's really just a simple space. You can fill in the day, and then you've just got, you know, a place to design your week with no stress. I like also that there's a space for an intention for the week and something just to remind you to let go of. I think pretty much every week I put down let go of the need to be perfect. But we're still working on that one. And then down here, I just like this little bit here, which is space to breathe. So if you've got any random notes and bits and pieces, I like to put it down there. So that's my week that I've got planned in. I've put in a bit more detail about stuff that's going on. It might not be on my monthly page, but you know, this has got a few to-dos, reminders, things that are going on, as well as I've put little keynotes. Like I need to upload a podcast on a Wednesday, so I've just kind of put that in there because I'm going to need to make room for that. And yeah, so that is my week to view. And of course, this is another one of those quotes that comes with the box this month. What you're not changing, you're choosing, is quite a strong quote, isn't it? Because when we think about it, we moan and we say that, you know, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. But at the end of the day, if you're not trying to change that, effectively, you're choosing to stay there. So that's a little reminder to myself when I start with that negative spiral, when I start with the, oh, I can't believe this is happening again. Well, I've got the option. I can either choose to stay in that or I can choose to change it. That is my weekly reminder this week. And that's where I'm at in my agenda. So let's look at what else. So I have dropped the content plan. So I brought it back in May. Turns out that I didn't pay any attention to it whatsoever. So I've dropped that for this month. Let's come back to that when we've got a bit more mental space. And I am, as always, working with my month to view, which is everything that's going on in the family. I cannot do without this. And, you know, I know I'm a paper person, but a lot of this is also on our joint calendar on our phones. But I can tell you, both of us, me and my husband, both go back to this because it's just a really quick visual. I don't think that you can see it like that on the phone, or maybe not how we're working or with our settings. I can't see the month like that. And it's actually quite overwhelming on the phone screen. I don't know why. It just feels so much calmer and more sensible like this. So we start with the month to view, which has got most of the bits and pieces. It's always got my work shifts on. It's got any of the kids' appointments. It's got when my husband's in the office and when he's at home, just so that we can be aware of who's in with the kids and who's not. And then just to give that a bit more detail, I always break it down per week. And I use the weekly blocker pad. And this just gives us a little bit more detail, exactly who's going where and when. And I always put in like our evening meal because I just don't like that question of what's for dinner tonight. So we just take that question away by having this all ready. And it also means whoever is home first from work, they can pick up and they can cook dinner because we know what's going to go on. We've got a new thing. The kids really want to start earning some pocket money. So I'm going to look at a chore list for them. So I'll share that next month because I haven't quite worked out how that's going to look yet and what I'm going to plan it on, but I'll go through that and talk you through it. But one thing that my youngest wants to do is cook because he loves cooking and that's what he wants to be. He wants to be a chef. So actually we've got Will's chili chicken in on Thursday. He's going to cook for the family once a week, which is going to help us out. It's going to be great for him and he's going to get pocket money for it. So I think that's a win, literally a win all round for everybody. So I think that's me in terms of planning. Next up, we've got my journal. So I work with, obviously, our own lifestyle journal. I like it because it's got really nice, thick, heavyweight papers. Let's flick back to how May finished. So I was talking on the May video about how I really loved the mood tracker that I had and I wanted to do that. So that was my finished mood tracker, which I think is just so pretty. I really love that. This was a theme that was available to Patreon members, but on YouTube this will be available for next May. So my YouTube videos are usually a a year behind. And then I was pretty consistent with journaling. I kept up with it. I added a few little bits and pieces in there. And then we had like an end of year spread. So a lot of my journaling and my journal prompts related to how I felt 12 months ago versus how I feel now and the difference in me. So I wanted to kind of put that into a spread. So I've got a section here of me last year and all of the things I was feeling, and then me now, which is so much more positive, which is lovely to see. And then I did a little page about our journal cafe. So if you're local to us in the UK, we have a monthly meetup, and I like to just put a little bit about what happened in that meetup. And this is what we create during that meetup as well. We always do our end of month spread and have a little catch up. So let's have a look at June. This theme is available on Patreon, and if you're interested in looking at our journal themes, last year's is available on Patreon. So exactly the same situation as last month. I can't access the video for last year's June. It was quite an abstract. Let me see if I can find my journal. Okay, so this was last year's journal. Yeah, so this is June from last year, so it's quite an abstract pattern, and this one is available now on Patreon, so you can head over. I've made it free for everybody to access, so you can access the sheets, and you'll see what our Patreon members get, because I've given you access to all. But just to show you, I absolutely missed all of June. Last year I didn't journal at all, but I did do my little journal cafe detail page, and we had an end of year spread about abundance. So the theme for last June, I think if I remember, was about money and like kind of attracting money. And we had a money theme where we tried to kind of focus on all of the money coming in. And these are little messages to me about all of the money that actually came in to me that month, that, you know, I just kind of was too busy focusing on what I didn't have, and I wanted to make a note of all of the things that I did have, which is such a lovely exercise to do. But look at this, we did this little exercise in Journal Cafe where I printed out these little fake bank checks, and I think this is such a lovely thing to do. I wrote myself a check from the universe. So I wrote myself £2,500 love from the universe. And that was just to kind of talk about, you know, how we can attract it to us, and to kind of focus on the money we do have, and not the money that we were losing. It was such a lovely month, and I will run this kind of idea again. It just didn't feel right to do this month. But yeah, that was last year. So let's have a look at this year's theme. Quite an abstract-y, floral little detail. I loved this dry brush idea, and I loved the idea of the mood tracker, so I wanted to again follow that through. So it's just brush strokes, and the colour does dictate as to how I was feeling. So good is this beige colour, okay is the grey, and then the darker colours when I've not been feeling great. And also it depends, I've got a little scale down the side of not good, okay and good. So depending on how I'm feeling on that day, I've just been marking it out, which I just think it looks really cool and abstracty, and I hadn't seen anything like it. And then starting with journaling for the rest of the month. So that is my journal. And of course we've got the new podcast now. So if you are interested in journaling and you're not sure about joining our journal club, that's fine. It's not for everybody. But what you could do is just listen to the journal podcast and see how you feel. So I'll go through each of the prompts and give you a little bit of pointers of how you can answer it, and talk about my own journaling. So come and join us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I'll leave all of the links below for you, but it could be a good little starting point for you to get into self-development journaling. What's left to talk about? Well, of course, I've got my Kindle cover. So here we are. Again, I'm just a creature of routine, and I like everything to be matching. So obviously my theme for this month is this kind of grey beigey black monochromy feel. So I've matched my Kindle cover to that. So we've got a couple of things like morally grey, because it just kind of sat with the theme, didn't it? But I love this one on my Kindle, probably enemies to lovers, one of my favourite tropes for sure. And just a girl with a head in a book, because do you know what? It's just better than reality sometimes. I love this little quote, sorry, I can't, my books need me. So that's where we're at for the month. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my bits and pieces that I've been working on, and I'll leave any links below. If you've got any comments, just let me know. I'm happy to answer anything. If you want to see anything more from me, let me know. And come and join us over on Patreon or on Instagram. I'd love to see you soon. Take care.